Hey, I just noticed I have a few new subscribers. That's such a weird word for me. It feels like, I don't know, I'm too old to have subscribers or something. But long story short, I've been doing these videos for a while now. I did post an intro video in the beginning. In fact, that was my very first post. But if you're new here and you don't feel like scrolling back through all my videos, I figured I'd just give you a few minutes of an intro. So, long story short, what are you gonna find here? You're gonna find me talking about how to live a rich life. I have, I did in the past, I don't believe I do anymore. I did in the past live with a lot of anxiety. It started in first grade and carried well into my 30s. And that's all I have to say about that. I formed a lot of bad habits of avoidance. And then thankfully, by the grace of God, He healed me from my anxiety. I can't quite explain the process that took place, but what I can say is that it's possible to be freed from anxiety fully. And like I said, it's by God's grace that it happens. But I'm a huge advocate for getting the most out of life and for loving well. I'm a mom. I have 3 kids. One that's 20, one that's 15, and one that's 7. And this year we have an exchange student staying with us, so I'm busy. I've got a lot to do, and I love it. I'm trying to raise my kids with the mindset that this next generation is the future. And I've been a stay-at-home mom. I've dabbled in other things, and I just really, like I said, I really want people to get the most out of life, but to live a good, full life, not one that's chasing happiness, one that accepts vulnerability and truth, because everything that I do, especially over the last couple years, everything I do, I'm trying to filter through the lens of Christ. We're living in times right now which I've never seen like this before. Maybe it's because my eyes are open and it's always been this way, but I definitely see a lot of hurting people. And even just today, it's February, and where I'm from, the Midwest, it gets gray around here, and people experience weather-related SAD, it's called, seasonal affective disorder. Definitely what happens is very common. You're tired, you don't have a lot of motivation, you might feel grumpy inside. Just in other words, it's not fun to experience how you feel at this time of the winter, which amazingly, I used to be affected by SAD, and I'm not anymore. Yes, I did up my vitamin D. That is always the first thing people ask, are you low on your vitamin D? But also, again, I truly believe that God has just completely changed my life, and I'm here for it. With that said, my husband is a 3-time kidney transplant recipient. His last transplant occurred when our youngest was a baby. So that was a really difficult time in our lives, because we were adjusting to having a 3rd child, as well as his recovery process from that last transplant was really rough. That is actually about the time that I started truly believing that you really have a duty to get the most out of every single day. I've always been, by nature, more of an optimist, and so I've been refining that through growing in wisdom and reading my Bible, studying more, because optimism is wonderful, but being realistic and having truth and wisdom really, even if things aren't going well, you can fall back on wisdom. You can't necessarily fall back on optimism as much, because when times get hard or you get tired or you're pressed in every way, and it can definitely get difficult to remain optimistic sometimes. But with the unwavering truth of God's word, it's a no-brainer. I mean, there are verses that talk about when you meet hard times, and it's a guarantee they're going to come. So my mission is to encourage people in how to manage that without breaking. Very simple things, but obviously the practices are much more difficult. So I come on here and I post videos about different aspects of how I see different things, and all I'm doing is trying to encourage. So that is my mission here. And if that's for you, then by all means stick around. And if it's not for you, that's fine. I respect whatever you decide. You might decide to stick around for a little bit and make fun of me. I can be a little obnoxious sometimes, and I'm fine with that. But yeah, what else about me? I don't know. It's always so hard to talk about yourself. Motherhood was something that I always wanted to participate in. So, I would like to say that I'm just a mom. I'm trying to do things the way everybody else tries to do them. You try to get through your days, you try to feed your kids, you try to get them where they need to be on time, you try to raise them right, all those things. But I do know that the day will come where they grow up, and it's going to be in me and my husband. And I'm also trying to maintain a relationship with my husband. So when we are empty nesters, we're not going to be not knowing what to do with each other. Hopefully we'll have it figured out by then. We try hard. We just went out to dinner last night with another couple, and we do try. We try to just look at each other. And it's busy because he's a business owner and he works long hours. So yes, there are days where I go to bed and I don't say goodnight to him, and I'm trying to break that habit. I'm trying to seek him out more. When I walk out the door, go and say goodbye and give him a kiss, or tell him I love him, or call in the middle of the day and he tries to call me in the middle of the day, and we're just trying to take care of each other. I love animals. I love sunshine. I smile a lot. I've gone through hard times like everybody else, and I still try to smile. Sometimes it's a little more forced than others. The people that know me well, you know that I can't hide my expressions. My eyes speak, I try to hold my tongue, but it's very obvious when I'm trying not to say something that I shouldn't be saying. What you get is an open book, and it is what it is. I'm left-handed. I find that always fun to find other left-handed people out there. One of my kids is lefty, which I love. Yeah, without going into too much more detail, I was going to start going with political leanings, but not really wanting to embark on that kind of conversation. I'm always very open to talking about it privately. I actually, on that note, I seek out those deep conversations in my relationships. I am very, very observant, and I will check in if I see, a look on your face that tells me that you are hurting. I will be the first person to reach out to you sometimes. I like to take care of people. I like to notice things and be thoughtful. Yeah, I guess that's me, I feel like I was very ignorant for many years. So if you knew me when I was much younger, I'm not that same person anymore. I've told my husband many times I'm a better version of myself as I've aged and grown in wisdom, and I'm going to stand by that. Here's a fun fact. You ready for this? I can parallel park very, very well. There's the pat on the back there. What else? I've had compliments when I've parallel parked. I'll get out and somebody will be like, that was amazing. So I'll take credit for that. I'll be a little prideful if I have to be. What else? I don't know. I don't like cooking, but I do it most nights because I really like providing a good home cooked meal for my family. I love cleaning. Well, I don't love cleaning. I love when things are clean and orderly, and so it's satisfying to clean, except when you have a house full of people and pets, because you can clean and then the house is messy again in 5 minutes. So I've had a lot of letting go to do. I love when my kids are at school. I love when they're doing things productive. I'm not a fan of screens. I was, very much so. I was the first person who was on the AOL message boards, I think it was. Yep, that was me. Definitely don't enjoy it now, but I do find myself on media quite frequently, just trying to shine light out there. I will post feel-good things, and yes, during election years I get a little bit more political and will post things, but like I said, not embarking on that conversation today. Probably won't on this page, because some things are just sacred, and if you don't know me personally, you don't need to know what my beliefs are. That's it. I genuinely, when I say have a good day at the end of my videos, I genuinely mean it. I was about to say I don't have a mean bone in my body, but I think that's not true, because, you know, I'm human. But I genuinely want the best for people. It's not just people I know. If you were some stranger on the street, which literally I'm talking to strangers on the street when I'm posting a video to YouTube, but if I saw a stranger on the street, I would treat you the same way as I would treat somebody that I've known for 10 years, which might be perceived as a little weird. But on that note, just today I was at the grocery store, and when I mentioned people around here, you can tell that they are feeling whatever the season is right now, that winter sludge, the winter blues, whatever you want to call it. But I was walking out of the store, and what's interesting is when I do something out of my comfort zone, my heart races and I get a shaky voice, and everything in me would say, don't do it. You know, like I'm not a fan of public speaking, so if I was up on a stage saying exactly what I'm saying right now, I would be losing my breath and sounding like I'm crying. So, but with that said, I was leaving Jewel today, and there was a mama putting her child in the car seat, and she had a minivan, and she was inside of the minivan, and her door was open. And I noticed, and I thought, oh, that's not the safest thing. That's not the safest way to do it. And I waited until she got out of the car and closed the door, and I approached her. I said, hey, mama, can I give you a safety tip? And she looked at me. She had tired in her eyes. She looked a little confused, and my voice was shaking because I was definitely out of my comfort zone. I didn't want to like scare her or anything, but I just told her, I said, listen, mama, I said, I want to give you a safety tip. When you're doing what you just did, when you're in the car, putting your baby in a car seat, close the door behind you and lock the doors. And then if you have to, you climb into the front seat, into the driver's side. Like, that's going to keep you safer. And she said, wow, I never thought about that. That's a good idea. And then I said, hey, have a great day. And I walked away. And then, you know, like I walked to my car, I put my purse in the car and locked the doors, and then I proceeded to put my groceries in the car, watching my surroundings, you know. And as she pulled out, she smiled and waved, and I just thought, you know, if only we could take care of each other a little bit better in this world. If only we could watch out for each other a little bit better in this world. And I do. I take that very seriously. But it is hard to step out of that comfort zone. So I am that person that will do it, even if I am uncomfortable. And so that's me in a nutshell. I've been talking for 14 minutes. So if you're still hanging with me on this, thank you for listening to my rambling. And of course, I hope you're having a great day.